Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. Welcome back to another Euroleague show, and welcome to perhaps one of the most positive and surprising ones, as we saw last night. One of the most entertaining yet absolutely insane games we've seen in a minute, with the two, I think, not even arguably anymore, best teams in the league going at it, both relatively wounded, with major absences on both sides. And we saw Olympiacos not just match up with the best and most, I think, well worked is a good word to use, defense in the league, but destroyed as well. But we'll get more into that in a bit. For those of you that are new, as usual, I won't waste your time. Everything you need link-wise for this show is down below. Interaction of any kind is more than welcome, even if you're listening to this after, on whichever platform. I welcome comments, questions, discussions, and disagreements alike. This show will forever be focused on representing both my opinion correctly and the fans themselves. And as we grow more and more, which I'm forever thankful for, I'll get more means to give you back stuff that this space hasn't seen before. So, now, before I get into the main point of this show, I wanted to talk about this, and you all know how I want to give the RedSeaPodcast as much attention as possible, along with the academies. And earlier today, we saw our absolute lions, our unstoppable lions, go 5 for 5 in the second phase of the WPL by destroying Faliro 24-7. And that comes after just a momentum victory in the derby a few days ago. And I want to throw out a reminder, along with giving credit to a team that looks truly unstoppable, that the match that follows is very important. It's against Brescia and it's at home. So for everyone that can be there, do make sure to go and support these boys, because they can and they will do great things, and they deserve a lot of recognition for that. From the captain to the last player in the rotation to the coaching staff, all of them can do something historic once again this season, and they deserve all the support that we all can give them in every way. Now, to get to the main focal point of the show, after getting that out of the way, as I said, as I opened up the show, this was a statement victory. It really was. Even though both teams had pieces missing, it still was two of the best going at it. It's the top two teams standings-wise as well going at it. It's two teams, because Fener have had insane momentum as well as us. we needed to react after that Monaco loss. Sasha Vezenkov and Thomas Walkup, both returning from injury. And generally, even before the game began, a lot of things were at play. Of course, the absolute shithousery of the Fener mascot coming in with a rain jacket, and it turned out to be raining something else last night. And a heated atmosphere, for sure, a heated atmosphere. I am actually very happy with how Seth has been lately. I'm very happy that more and more people are actually getting behind this team again. Very happy that the atmosphere isn't where it needs to be yet, actually nowhere near, but it's getting there more and more consistently. And as I've talked about in previous shows, that's thanks to the squad itself, because the squad now has energizers. And despite Tyreek, who perhaps you can argue is the main person that I describe Tyreek as an old school five. This man is strong, he's athletic, and he can get the people going. Okay? And despite him not playing, the man himself, the leader that can affect everyone in his vicinity, had a game for himself, but we'll get to Fournier in a bit. And of course, a man that can always hype up the crowd is Tyson Warren. And he made sure to do that as he does always. So it had the safe factor as well, the game. And I think that a lot of motive is circling around this team given what's been happening. Of course, the Fournier incident that happened kind of spurred him on, saying that, and of course, he did pop up on Twitter to thank the fans for having his back. And I think that gave him even more motive. That's why I took the thing that Pana put out earlier today so calmly, because as I wrote on Instagram and Twitter, this is just going to be used as more motivation, and we are clearly seeing that they are terrified. And it's a lot to list off. It really is a lot to list off. It can be a lot to take in, but the most important thing is that Olympiacos is working as one, players, coach, and fans. And as we've said many times on this show, that's when the team is the strongest it can be by a mile and a half. So we need to keep that going for the final stretch, for tomorrow's game against Baskonia and the rest coming up, for the derby coming up in the league, even though with how horrific Pan are right now, that derby, I would say that derby means nothing. And technically in the standings, it doesn't. But I've expressed this many times before, no matter the sport, no matter the game, no matter the time, that I always want to beat them. I don't, like, even in the Final Four last year, when the game for third place technically meant nothing, I still wanted the team to win. And that's the same for the derby coming up. We need to win that. Because with the win that we pulled off, if we also go on and win that one, you send them into an even deeper spiral. And I think it's the safest thing to say that the players will get more confidence, you will get more momentum as time goes on. And especially players like Evan, like Sasha, they are signing again, like the superstars that they are. And you saw that clear as day yesterday, as they together had 60 points. They had 60 out, they almost had half the team's points, the two of them. And if that continues and only steadily goes up, I can't even begin to imagine how flawlessly the team is going to work as we head into the playoffs very soon as well. Also, something that I personally was very happy about is that the team was accurate. And the team was accurate in the right moments. The team finished with 61% field goals, with 38 out of 62, with that coming majorly from mid-range, with 30 out of 37. And while the threes were just at 32%, the threes that we did hit were at the perfect time, and most of them were advanced. But we'll get into that. And of course, we didn't waste any free throws this time. We had 20 out of 22, as did Fener. Fener had 100% as well. So it really came down to the right moments, which we took full advantage of. Of course, the rebounds themselves were even. We had a big advantage on the assist front with 25 and 2 Fener's 18, showing how the team worked again like a flawless, like a well-oiled machine. And 11 out of those 25 were walk-ups. So yeah, the welcome back is an understatement. Of course, we kept the turnovers at a minimal as well. The team looked extremely concentrated with 7 to Fener's 17 turnovers. And yeah, that's we were leading most of the game, even though Fener's class really showed in the time, not necessarily that they were leading, but in the time that they didn't really let us get away, even though we did mostly control the game. And I'll get into this man's performance and what a performance he had. Of course, I listed off his stats yesterday as well. The career high for him with 23 minutes played, 36 points scored. I can't say that loud enough. He had 5 out of 9 from 3, 56%, 9 out of 11 from mid-range, and 3 out of 5 free throws, leading him at a very, very strong 70%, with a rebound to himself and 3 assists and a major steal, giving him a perfect 10. What a night for a man that is perhaps lately getting as targeted as Barjokas, even though no one will reach that level. But I feel like the consistency is getting there, as we saw earlier this morning as well. But Evan's a player, look, okay, because I'm trying to not be that biased here because we are talking about one of my favorite. Evan's a player that will use the perfect moments to light up the whole team. He's never gonna be the one that will be a consistent best. He's never gonna have the effect that Sasha will have, for example, but the effect that Evan Fournier has, no one else can give. I think that's safe to say, because he doesn't need to be there constantly. He needs a moment. And in one moment, Evan Fournier can change an entire game. Not just for himself, but for the entire team as well. And Evan Fournier last night was on one. He came in early, relatively, as Fener did start off controlling the game. And once he came in, he immediately saw that he was on his night. And when a player of Evan's class thinks that he can't miss, he won't miss. He was unguardable for a while, especially with the momentum he had coming in early. And then the game just never changed back. From the moment he came in and after, we controlled the pace. And despite the game being close and Fener reacting, we never really were threatened. And Evan, one of the main things I want to point out about Evan, as he said on his interview a few days ago now, he took starting on the bench not in just a good way, he took it and flipped it. Because he said that he can observe the game and he can know what's needed. He said that he can know when he needs to be aggressive defensively, when he needs to be a playmaker, when he needs to score, like he did last night. And the thing that he said that he's looking for wins and not records, and he is willing to do everything for that to come true, shows game in and game out. And as much as I don't really like bringing his name up, the one that shall not be named, you know who I'm talking about, he took the same situation as disrespect, while Evan took it as a chance to give his positives both from the bench and on the court, proving that he's a leader on and off it as well. And now, if you're seeing the separation from who's a great player and a leader and who's not, and who loves Olympiacos and who doesn't. And now, Evan can also, as I just mentioned, prove himself as an off-court leader as well, as he has many times before. So the effect that this man is having is unmatched. And on nights like this, it shows more than ever. So I'm very, very happy. I am more than happy. And I spoke about him as well, because you can never go without talking about Sasha Vezenkov. He wasn't the star of yesterday, but God knows that he had a Vezenkov type of night, as with 23 minutes himself as well. He had 24 points, 10 from 14 field goal wise, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals with just 1 TO to his name. Sasha followed Evan's lead and did what he does best, which is just break through defenses like it's nothing, find scoring opportunities from seemingly nowhere. And the fact that he did still finish with 24, 2, and 1 to his name, while still contributing defensively, is honestly nothing less than great. because even if he's more on a quiet air night, because that wasn't a quiet night, we're back to the Sasha Vezenkov that will at minimum give you 20. And we've been back to that Vezenkov for a while. And seeing that he came back from, a minor injury with a vengeance, it couldn't make me happier. And as I said, if we get those two consistently, not necessarily scoring 60 combined every night, but if these two can give the best every single night from now on in games that are must win, stuff's going to be way greater than we can begin to picture, I think. And I think that's one of the safest ways to put it. And again, mention him briefly. Welcome back, Thomas Walker. The definition of adaptable, the definition of underappreciated, Thomas Walkup, of course, after suffering from a minor, thankfully, injury himself, he came back and he started the game a bit slowly. Mind you, he needed to defend the bulldozer that is Horton Tucker, because god damn, what a player. But the moment the half changed, it feels like a different Walker came up. Mind you, I need to put an asterisk here and give some props to Frank Nilikina, because the defensive plays he worked around to put pressure on Horton Tucker, who was carrying Fener on his shoulders for a solid quarter, are insane. But the fact that Thomas Walkup worked around slow start and got himself 7, 2, and 11 assists with a steal as well, and had another magic third quarter. Again, speaking about unmatched positive, this man has been a steady power for a while now. And he's been very consistent this season as well. Arguably one of, if not our most consistent player. And while we've had a lot of trouble in his position, he'll always be there. And honestly, I can see him like going double digits with assists every single game from now on. Which again, it's just a piece here, a piece of the puzzle there, a piece of the puzzle there. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, we are seeing an Olympiacos of which we were talking about earlier in the season. We said that once we get here around March and April, Olympiacos is going to look a lot different, and we are looking a lot different. And putting aside like a loss with the one in Monaco, if this team opens the game and plays like they should, I really don't see any serious opposition. But for now, I'll keep my mouth shut and we'll move on and continue on. Now, aside from Thomas Walkup, of course, you had major contributions by the man that flew under the radar for his performance, putting up 9, 2, and 1 with 2 steals as well. Of course, Alec Peters. Tyler Dorsey did have a quiet night, but he still put up very good numbers with 10, 1, and 2. Nico Milutinov and Donta Hall, both, despite the absence of Tyreek Jones, both of them proved why they complement each other, why all three of them complement each other extremely well. As Nico Milutinov put up, 6 had 7 rebounds to his name and a block. And Donta Hall, in one of his most comfortable Olympiacos performances, he had 15 minutes to himself, put up 4 points, had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks, with one of those blocks being an absolutely insane jump. And as the commentator said it, I will as well, because it reminded me a lot of Giannis's block against Croatia in the summer. What a vertical. I know there is a lot of criticism towards Donta Hall, but the things that he gave are unfathomable. Like, the man is an athletic monster. And I'm replaying the play in my mind, and I'm still unable to fathom how he reached that block. But yeah, he came in strong, helped a lot, especially defensively. And it really looks like Hall has found comfort and confidence in his game, knowing that he has Milutinov and Tyreek in front of him, which, again, we've been saying this ever since Tyreek came in. If you can get just 5 to 10 quality minutes from Donta Hall, then he'll be a luxury friends with. And it's another piece of proof why we have the best front line in Europe, of course. Of course, as I said as well, Tyson Ward had a very effective game with 6, 4, and 2, and a lot of energy. And as always, as I said, he was responsible for a lot of momentum on and off the court. And this month, I know I talked about Nilikina's defensive work, but this man is unbelievable defensively. Now, Baskonia tomorrow. Baskonia is a weird one, always. Of course, we're talking about a team that sits 19th in the table, but I really don't want to go out and underestimate any game. But it at least is looking like a momentum game. It really is. You are aiming at least to find some steady feet and get a comfortable win, and just see the chaos unfold between everybody else. Of course, the standings are very interesting now, because, of course, the top 6 are Fener, us, Real, and Valencia, with Hapoel following, and Zvezda 6th. And then you have Zalgiris, Monaco, Pana, and Barca, with Dubai behind them, and Armani with a shot in getting in at least late. It will be, I've said this before, it will be so funny if somehow Pana just completely fumbled this and missed the playoffs. I don't want it to happen, because I want them in the Final Four, but it will be the funniest thing. But yeah, we have Baskonia, and then on the 24th, we have Valencia away, one of the biggest positive surprises of the season. And of course, we have Pana on the 30th in the league. Then another hopefully comfortable game in Asvel away on the 3rd. Then we have Real, Hapoel, and Armani. And that's the regular season over. we're there. Like, we are right there. We need to be behind the team more than ever right now. And we need to see more of yesterday, both on and off the court. And yeah, that's about it from me for today. I'll see you all probably on Friday evening around the same time, because I know tomorrow there is a lot of football as well, and that people will want to watch, and I don't want to just fall onto that. Do let me know if you like these types of basketball recaps, like a few hours in the next day, like comfortably, so I don't put pressure on a late night midweek usually, unless it's a Friday, of course. And yeah, that's gonna be it from me once again. Thank you all massively for the support. And as I've given a few hints on socials, and as you're slowly but surely getting to see everything, a lot of things are underway. And hopefully they're closer than I even imagined. So as always, thank you.